What's up, everybody? Welcome in. This is our predictions video for Kentucky at South Carolina, 7:45 p.m. Eastern, Saturday night on the SEC Network. We are brought to you by FanDuel, and we have FanDuel's betting numbers for this contest as of about 4 Eastern on Monday afternoon. South Carolina, a 6.5-point home favorite. They are minus 235 on the money line. If you like the Wildcats to pull the upset, they are plus 190 to win outright. The total is 46.5, shaded to the under for a minus 118 price, minus 104, excuse me, to the over. And South Carolina has won 3 in a row, both straight up and against the spread. In this rivalry. However, Kentucky is 6-4, both straight up and ATS in the last 10, and the under is on a 9-1 run in the last 10. So, a couple of, or how much of a factor is this for you, Jay? And not, I'm just saying generally when teams are at the end of a long run of games, and then another team's had 2 weeks to prepare. So Kentucky's had 2 weeks to prepare since beating Eastern Michigan 48-23, whereas South Carolina playing its 5th game in 5 weeks. Do you put a lot of stock in that?
I put a bunch of stock in it for a couple of reasons, specifically for this game, because I think scenarios matter. For Kentucky, making the quarterback change, it gives you extra time to make certain you know the plays, the sets, and whatever Cutter Boley likes the best. So, look, man, I would have been tempted to start him from the jump. Calzada is washed. And the other part of that is the day-to-day grind, including the multitude of hits Lenoris Sellers is collecting. I mean, that dude's been sacked more than canned hams at Christmas at the Food City. So I think that is a big spot here, but I also think Beamer is smart enough to realize a season with a whole lot of promise, brother. They don't handle Kentucky. This team could go bagel in the league.
Yeah, this is a huge game for both teams, and it is Cutter Boley's first career start, and it comes on the road, and this is the road opener for Kentucky, which, as I said, beat Eastern Michigan 48-23, had a very competitive game with Kentucky, got a fortunate backdoor cover and a 30-23 loss, and beat Toledo 24-16 in the opener. South Carolina has dropped back-to-back games now, and yeah, both teams in dire need of a win. If Kentucky can get a win, then maybe this is shaping up to be a little better season than most had forecasted. Whereas, like you just said, South Carolina has to have this one, because if they don't, they come out of the open date at LSU. And then, albeit at home, Oklahoma and Alabama in back-to-back games, and then at Ole Miss, and then another open date, and then at Texas A&M. And later on, well, who knows where Clemson.
If you're talking about donut in the league, which is don't handle Saturday, and the scary truth is the lowest ranked SEC opponent left on South Carolina's schedule is Alabama. I mean, so
yeah, if they want to go bowling, they have to win this game.
They have to win this game, and then they're going to have to win this game and pull an upset somewhere else.
I think I remember we both liked the under in our summer preview of the Gamecocks. Yes,
and then our summer preview proved out, and I think this is a meaningful moment to bring it up. They had too many dudes to replace in a front seven that, a lot like Ole Miss, sure, they had a superstar quarterback, Ole Miss did, and we saw the blossoming superstar tendencies of Lenoris Sellers last year for the Gamecocks. But both of those teams were in 2024 led by dynamic front sevens that it's almost impossible to replace that whole cohesiveness and that collective group.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And although, I mean, look, I don't want to give out too many compliments for scoring 20 points, but the offense was a little bit better last week. I mean, I
Throwing
didn't.
it, they were better, Brian. But if
What's
you
that?
add in throwing it, they were better.
Yeah.
But you add in sack yardages, and
Yes.
they finished -6 rushing.
Yeah. I mean, right now, Lenore Sellers, because obviously sacks count, it's net yardage. He only has 17 rushing yards. And I know he had at least a 15-yard touchdown run in the opener, and I feel like he had another scramble for about 12 to 15 yards. So yeah, he has been getting sacked. His throwing numbers are still pretty good. 64.4%, 733, 4-to-1 TD INT ratio. So here's some betting numbers for you. As a home favorite under Beamer, South Carolina's 11-8 against the spread. They've played twice at home this year. They're 1-1 straight up, 0-2 ATS. The under's 3-1 overall for South Carolina, and the only over came last week by a half point in the Missouri game. And Beamer against Stoops is 3-1 both straight up and against the spread. All right, Kentucky 2-1 straight up, 1-2 ATS as a road dog under Stoops, 23-19-1 against the spread, but it's been better since 2016, 18-11-1 ATS. The under is 2-1 for Kentucky. So I have not watched a whole lot of Cutter Boley. Have you? I haven't hardly seen him at all.
I did not see any of the Eastern Kentucky game. I was watching because I was on Ole Miss when Kiffin called the timeout to let him get the field goal team on there. He didn't. Granted, it was at home, but that was and it wasn't exactly a 2-minute drill trying to go down the field to score. They were down 2 scores. I didn't think he handled the moment poorly per se, but he was not super accurate. You expect that to improve. I mean, he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school. Right. You expect that to improve with confidence and more comfort, but it feels like we've been looking for a Kentucky quarterback since the hefty he left.
Right. Well, Will Levis gave him some decent quarterback play.
Wasn't
that great. So, but Boley did play pretty good against Eastern Michigan, 12 of 21, 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. And let's see, on the season so far, he's 26 of 53. That's not very great. 49.1% for 338 yards. Whoa, 2 touchdowns and 4 picks. When did he throw all those picks?
Who?
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies, folks. That was last year's stats. My apologies on Boley. This year, he's 13 of 24, 54.2%, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So the 2-to-4 TDINT ratio for Boley was last year when he played in 4 games. All right. I feel like Dylan Stewart needs to get going. Like now, because I remember he had a huge game against them last year, but he wasn't getting double teamed. Kyle Kennard was getting double teamed.
There you go. That's the thing too, is how are you able to, when you're the dude across a defensive line and you go from beating one-on-one blocking to now having to beat one with a back helping or a tight end chipping you, or even sometimes just straight up 2. Look, if they can get to Boley, I think South Carolina. Well, we got to tell them about our sponsors before we get to picking games.
Yes, we do. And we'll get to that. Although I want to point out, I probably shouldn't. I didn't mean to be like calling out Dylan Stewart. Like, I love Dylan Stewart. Other than that face slap he gave our boy Diego Pavia, but he has had pretty good number. I mean, 17 tackles, 4.5 TFLs. 2 sacks, 4 QB hurries, 1 pass broken up. It's not like he is making plays, but I mean, he's not doing first team All-American type stuff quite yet. And this seems like a spot where he can have a big night. And
Yeah,
We
I think mentioning his name is not calling him out, but mentioning his name is completely fair in the sense that you've got bell cows, and this is one of those games, especially with your back against the wall, South Carolina. You need like a 4 tackles for loss, 2.5 sack kind of Saturday where Darinoka's talking all about you come 1 a.m. as Brian Edwards is in his 5th Budweiser.
and forced fumble would be cute as well. All right, our people at Game Time. SIDEKICKS, officially licensed stainless steel drinkware, all SEC schools, plus over 350 more universities. Everything from stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, and 40-ounce plus bottles and shaker cups. SE 16 for the 20% discount to viewers. Also, our friends at ROKFORM, the world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock, secure mounting. September is the busiest month of the year with the new iPhone release. In fact, I wish I would quit getting so many texts to my phone about the new iPhone release. SEC 25 for 25% off. And HOVI Dry Goods, your new favorite hat. Look no further than HOVI hats for high-quality headgear with a great fit and unique designs. The Bad Beat Team of the Week, Auburn Tigers. The safety late mattered more to some than others. Promo code coming soon for 15% off. All right, predictions. Greeson, go.
I probably will be on this game. I think the desperation factor for South Carolina at home, and look, man, there may be bigger stadiums, but at night, Columbia can rock. And I think this is a really tough spot for a kid, a redshirt freshman, to be making his first SEC start. So I'm going to be on South Carolina, especially if it stays under that magical number of 7.
Yep, I concur. I made the number 9, and if it's at 7 or fewer, I'll be betting the home team. And you nailed it. Even though the scheduling situation favors Kentucky with 2 weeks to prepare, and it being the 5th game in 5 weeks for South Carolina, the fact that you got a young quarterback making his first career start on the road at night in a hostile environment, I like the Gamecocks. All right. We appreciate you listening. We are brought to you by FanDuel. Make sure you check out our podcast later in the week. Well, we will explore this game and all the others in the SEC from a betting perspective. Jay Greeson, I'm Brian Edwards. Over and out.